at Electric Hydrogen, we are singularly focused on bringing down the cost of industrial scale decarbonization. We're bringing down the cost of kind of removing emissions of the biggest and dirtiest sectors out there globally. And we do that by producing the world's most powerful and efficient hydrogen electrolyzer. These are extremely large machines that take in renewable energy and to split water into hydrogen and oxygen. And the hydrogen can be used as a substitute for natural gas in many large industrial processes. So this business is based off of making these super, super large machines used by heavy industry that most people are not really even aware of how this is used, production of base chemicals and fertilizers and steel, and these big factories out in the middle of nowhere that people don't typically see. And our systems are very large. They're 100 megawatts in scale. They're about $80 million per system. They're complex. The problem is hard, and we have built this business from its inception with a focus on the cost of our product to our customer, understanding that everybody in heavy industry is on one end or the other dealing with commodities. Either inputs or outputs are commodities, so cost wins. No matter if we're providing someone a solution that they can, quote unquote, do the right thing and have a greener opportunity, if it's more expensive, we're not going to get any scale. But the other side of kind of the ruthless efficiency toward profits that many of the industries have, generally kind of view that as a little bit of a dark complexion to have there. It's that if you can do something at a penny a pound cheaper, the world will switch rather quickly. There are no participation trophies in commodities. You either provide the purity and volumes that people want at the price that they can afford, or you're out of business. So if we can deliver something that provides the same or greater value at the same or lower price, we know that we can be successful. And so we have really designed our business from the ground up there, and we're a little over, kind of 300 people now, and we've raised close to $800 million, quite a bit. It's capital intensive, but it's also been fun. I've gotten to raise a lot of money here, and I've certainly enjoyed it. Business like ours, we're relatively high burn. We use a lot of capital because what we're doing is really hard, and our sales are large. A single system is on the order of about $80 million. So sales are lumpy, and sometimes sales are larger than that. Some customers purchase multiple units, so sales can be lumpy, and expenses are relatively high. And so we've had to raise a lot of capital in order to get to where we are. But it's very important that I keep a close track on that balance sheet and really understand cash inflows and cash outflows on a relatively granular basis. I also, because everything only makes sense to me, through dollar signs, it's given me a greater appreciation of our technology and our technical teams to become involved in projects that we're undergoing by first understanding, hey, where are we spending a lot of money? Figure out where that is, and then to actually learn technically what are our goals. Why do these group of really smart people think that we should spend 10 or $20 million on doing XYZ? And the more that I'm able to deeply understand what we're trying to achieve, it helps me understand how this is all going to come together in the end. And sometimes when I start asking harder questions about, what is the work we're doing and how that integrates in, that leads to a broader conversation where we think about reallocating the capital that we're spending. And other times it just, helps me, learn more about what our broader team is doing and gain a deeper appreciation for the technology itself, because I do a lot of fundraising, and I like to say I can play an engineer on TV. That's because I've asked a lot of really great questions and gotten great answers from smart people, and over time have been able to accumulate enough knowledge that I can sort of represent what we're doing technically, at least enough for the money folks to understand and kind of get that next meeting to dive into the tech. I have the ability to have insight into most things through the purview of, oh, well, we spend money on that, I'd like to know more, or I have an opinion. But it's really valuable to also recognize that just because you get to see everything, and you think you've got something to add. That doesn't always mean you need to be involved in everything. You both can't, but also, as the business grows, you've got to really trust your team. And even if you were involved in kind of building it, sometimes you've got to set it free and let people make decisions that you might not think are the right ones, and they either will be or won't be. And if you were right, it's important not to say, I told you so. And if you were wrong, it is important to say, I was wrong and you were right. I think that's an important part about the leaders, to try to take as little credit for things as you can, particularly when you have the opportunity to influence almost anything by changing the allocation of capital. That you try to be reserved about it, and let others take those wins.